Nobody sits you down as a child to explain the truth about human nature. They tell you people are good, that friends are forever, that family will never betray you. They tell you kindness guarantees kindness back, that if you work hard and stay humble, people will respect you and life will reward you. Those fairy tales feel comforting, and adults repeat them endlessly because illusions are easier to tell children than reality. But then life hits you, and one day you realize everything they promised is an illusion. The first shock comes with betrayal. You thought friends would keep your secrets, yet one of them uses your vulnerability as a weapon. You thought family meant loyalty, but jealousy runs colder than blood. You thought honesty guaranteed trust, but dishonesty wins quicker in the short term. What nobody warned you is this: human beings are not naturally noble. They are naturally selfish. This selfishness disguises itself in 1,000 ways. People swear devotion, but vanish when your needs collide with theirs. They offer comfort, but only because it gives them significance. They stand beside you in crisis, but don't clap at your victories. They love using the illusion of loyalty, but when self-interest whispers louder, that illusion evaporates instantly. The reality of human nature is not constant virtue. It is conflict between shadow and light, between envy and admiration, between self-interest and sacrifice, between masks and truth. And most of the time, the shadow side wins. That is why betrayal, envy, lying, manipulation, and control repeat across history like seasons. That is why every society, every family, and even every friendship eventually fractures. Not because humanity is doomed, but because most people are fragile in the face of selfishness. You were never warned about how shallow people's joy can be for your victory. You thought success would bring more love, yet the moment you win, silence gets heavier. Sarcasm increases. Some vanish altogether because your growth exposes their stagnation. And instead of using envy as fuel, most just let it fester into resentment. And you were never warned about how fragile loyalty really is. People love the convenience of saying forever, but forever usually means until it costs me. Loyalty collapses the second temptation arrives if character was never built to endure fire. There's another truth you were never warned about. Most people wear masks. They learn early that showing their real desires, real jealousy, real weakness brings judgment. So instead, they polish performances. Smiles hide contempt. Compliments hide envy. Kindness hides indifference. And unless you sharpen your vision, you'll take the mask as reality, only to feel crushed when the real face finally shows itself. This is why so many people are blindsided. They believed words instead of watching patterns. They trusted promises instead of measuring actions. They confused kindness in public with loyalty in private. Nobody ever prepared them for the fact that deception is humanity's default tool of survival. The truth is also this: you are not exempt from these flaws either. You too wear masks. You too have whispered lies, withheld truth, or manipulated for comfort. This is why wisdom doesn't come from denying human darkness. It comes from admitting it, both in others and in yourself. Because when you face it, you are no longer naive. Acceptance is power. Denial is weakness. So, what happens if you don't face these truths until it's too late? You spend life surprised over and over by envy, betrayal, and selfishness. You hand loyalty to people who were never capable of returning it. You bleed yourself dry, trying to maintain illusions. And slowly you become bitter because you thought the world owed you more honesty than it does. But if you see this truth early, your entire life changes. You stop expecting everyone to celebrate you. Instead, you treasure the rare ones who do. You stop demanding unconditional loyalty from the disloyal. Instead, you guard your heart and build boundaries. You stop idolizing people as saints. Instead, you accept their flaws and measure their actions. Disillusionment becomes freedom. Nobody warns you because illusions are easier than reality, but reality is always safer. Once you see clearly that humans are governed by self-interest, shaped by envy, addicted to masks, you can finally live without being blindsided. You may still feel pain, but you will not feel confusion. You will not die wondering why people broke in ways that were inevitable. What nobody told you about human nature is this: trust is fragile, loyalty is conditional, and most people are not who they seem. But along that storm, there is one light, a small minority who rise above it. Not perfect people, but rare ones who resist envy, who value truth, who stay when others leave. They exist, but you only find them when you see the world without illusions. This is the great irony. Once you accept the darkness in human nature, you become more capable of finding genuine light. Once you stop expecting perfection, you can finally appreciate sincerity. Once you let illusions die, you can finally build bonds based on reality, not fairy tales. What nobody warns you about human nature is exactly what you needed to know first. Most people will disappoint you, betray you, resent you, and hide from you. But the rare souls who don't, the rare who truly love, who remain loyal, are worth diamonds. They are rare because real always is. But if you live awake, you will find them. And when you do, you will finally know the beauty of love grounded not in illusion, but in truth.